Hello everyone. I thought that I would make this video because I did not get the chance to give my speech at the Board of Trustees meeting in person. Apparently there was a misunderstanding about what it meant to give a public comment at the Board of Trustees meeting. At the last meeting in May, they opened up the floor for public comment when they don't normally do that, and it was for just informal commentary about what we heard. And so when we saw public comment on the agenda for the June meeting, we thought it was the same thing, just kind of a chance to speak to the board. And so I wrote up a speech, and I was planning on giving it during the public comment section, and then they totally skipped over this section because, according to one of the board members, none of us had signed up, even though I had. And then further discussion showed that we found out that the public comment section is only for things on only the action items that they were going to talk about for the rest of the meeting, and like the budget and stuff like that. And so I never got the chance to actually give the speech, and so I'm making this video to read out my speech because I never got the chance to in person. And I wanted to do it this way because I didn't want to just give the board just the words to read, because they could assign it any tone that they want and read it from their own perspective. But in this format, it's me reading it, and you can see that I am a person of color, and I am only here to make the university a better place. And if you see me around, we can have a discussion about this stuff. And so that is the reason for me making this video, and I know it's going to run a little long because of this little introduction piece, but I did feel the need to make this video, so let's get into it. Good morning, Board of Trustees and everyone here. My name is Giovanni Esparza, and I am a History for Secondary Education major here at the University of Northern Colorado. That means I like to do two things for fun: research and educate. Exactly what any 22-year-old does on a Friday night. Well, I've been doing some research on this university because the best way to take back my power is to use words. The Board of Trustees policy manual states that UNC will offer a student-centered atmosphere of integrity that is grounded in honesty, trust, fairness, respect, and responsibility. Section 1-1-103. And that at the university, diversity of thought and culture is respected. Section 1-1-103, number 4. With these words in mind, members of Bears Who Care worked to express their voice by chalking outside the UC and stadium, in one instance prior to Andy's strategic planning town hall, and another prior to graduation. None of our messages were hateful or disparaging. Mostly, we asked for people to subscribe to information outlets that would allow them to show their pride in UNC by holding leadership accountable. This is something that is well within our rights to do, as protected by the First and 14th Amendment, and yet our messages were erased without reason. After conversations with some counsel, we have been given contacts within the ACLU to discuss these incidents. We are awaiting a response from our correspondents. It is unfortunate that even with the board's promise of honesty and responsibility, Andy chose to do this thing amongst many other things that Neil already discussed. So I said, if Andy doesn't care for our current arguments, then maybe he will listen to the past. So I went to the archives. I am a historian, after all. As you may know, this university is in the process of becoming a Hispanic Serving Institution, or HSI. Something else you may know is that one of the major cuts being made at this university, one that we have been fighting every step of the way, is the extermination of the Modern World Languages department, specifically French and German. While I could talk about the issue that cutting world languages poses to the diversity of this university and the future of our HSI status, I trust that competent leadership such as Tobias Guzman and the leadership of TRIO programs are already enacting best practices. But I am disheartened that Andy has not reached out or publicly responded in any way that shows competency towards affirming and supporting marginalized communities. Therefore, I took it upon myself to share the rich legacy at UNC for Hispanic heritage. Though it goes by a different name now, the Modern World Language Program was started in 1963. That's a long history being eradicated in 2022. More interesting is the fact that this program was started by none other than Dr. Martin Candelaria. For those of you who don't know UNC, an entire building with a breathtaking mural has been erected and is dedicated to his legacy. Dr. Candelaria was the first Hispanic professor here at UNC. While here, Dr. Candelaria fought for the modern language program to be formed and implemented at UNC. It is also important to mention that Dr. Candelaria fought for all major languages to be taught, including French and German. He said himself, "We should be taking advantage of the language skills that part of our population have, be it Spanish, French, German, Chinese, or Japanese." Candelaria and his students were often told if they were not satisfied with the school's facilities, they should go to another university. As I was writing the speech, I reflected on Andy's words from the Round Table Town Hall from April 18th, which sounded eerily similar to these sentiments. But I decided not to put them in here out of respect for time. Anyways, it wasn't until after Candelaria left that they agreed to form the program. The first Hispanic professor at UNC knew of the importance of all these languages and the place they deserved at our university. Why can't you? And in our path to being an HSI, we seem to have stopped listening to Hispanic voices. How can we claim to be an HSI if we dishonor the legacy of one of the most important Hispanic people our campus has ever seen? Arbitrary enrollment numbers and outdated data from 2004 are one thing, but erasing generations of Hispanic history is something else entirely. At this point, you should just erase the mirror and Candelaria along with it. If you truly want better enrollment in these programs, or in the College of Humanities and Social Sciences overall, history like this is what we need to focus on. Stories like Candelaria's should be common knowledge that all students and community members know and take pride in. Once we do this, I think our enrollment problems will fade away. After all, Andy acknowledged at the Board of Trustees meeting on November 11th how concerned he was about the turnover rate of faculty and staff of color. Yet, you are getting rid of faculty like Trish Jolly, who has taught here for 16 years and truly cares about her students. Getting rid of instructors like Trish will lead to larger class sizes and with less impact that ultimately hurts the brand we talked about at the meeting and retention rates. And doing so without even going through the proper procedures as lined out in the board manual, section 2-3-801. You need to stop getting rid of faculty of color and focus on the history of people of color at this university. However, if you do not go down this path, it will be at the detriment of the university. Because if you get rid of this program and that faculty, you show us that you don't care about our successes or hard work. And as Cedric said at the Board of Trustees meeting, students recruit other students. We, people like me, will leave and take our community with us. We will not choose to come here to get our education degrees or business degrees or nursing degrees because we are already being told that our hard work is worth nothing. These are the messages you are sending to us, and if this issue is not fixed, being Hispanic serving institution will not be an option. I acknowledge that I am running out of time, and this video is running a little long, but I wanted to take a moment and make it clear that I'm not against getting HSI status. Why wouldn't I want a university that serves me and my community? After all, I know the plight of doing all I can to serve in leadership while I was in the Student Senate as a person of color. I understand the pressure as a minority that we face in being perfect because I am a McNair Scholar. Some of you board members understand the struggle of making it in a world that isn't made for us. Why wouldn't I want an institution that rewards us for working twice as hard for half as much? Of course I want a designation that honors that path. However, a designation and a name only is an insult. I do not believe that those of us systematically held back from success are asking too much when we ask that there is an alignment between words put in print and decisions put into action. We cannot be an HSI if we do not listen to the voices, opinions, and history of those you want to serve. So we ask one more time that this decision be reversed or revisited before my community loses something else they fought so hard for. Thank you. I'm looking forward to the activism and service of the Bears Who Care Club that many people have asked us to form in the fall semester. Hopefully the board and the community members that have supported us thus far will support us in our future endeavors, because this may not be the last time that you see us. And I thank you for watching through the whole video. I know that I went over the 5 minutes that I was going to be given in person, but I felt that after both incidents of chalk being erased and my voice literally being erased, and then not getting the chance to talk at the board meeting, that a 10-minute video to explain kind of my position on these issues and the chance to read my speech was well deserved. I just want what is best for this university, and I really hope that the board members do as well. So thank you very much for watching through this, and I hope to hear from you soon.